mentioned in the chat, we'll do a little shortened version of our yoga hour sequence 3. And I'm going to end today with about a 5-minute meditation. This month, I've been focusing on healthy habits nourish me, and I just saw that in the last week, at least for me, I felt like I was slogging through a little bit, and I could always find 1 or 2 things that I could write down for myself, but it wasn't as mindful as I'd hoped for myself this month. So a little bit of a refocus and a time through this meditation at the end of practice today. Come to your yoga mat, and we'll start with the movement. Start in child's pose. So knees apart, big toes together, fold your torso in and reach your arms out in front of you. Here in child's pose, just take in your breath. Awareness to this present moment. Awareness to what you're bringing into the mat today, what you wish to take off of the mat. Walk both hands a little bit over towards the right side and enjoy a reach from the left fingertips back towards the left hip. And then walk the hands across the center and on over to the second side. So there's more reach out to the right hand and a pull back onto the right hip. Inhale and walk it to the center. Rise up to all fours. Place the hands under shoulders. Spread wide through the fingers as you do so. Knees right underneath the hips. And then do cat and cow. Move your spine back and forth here. Inhale, drop the belly down. Pull the chest forward and through. Eyes and tailbone to the sky. Exhale, press down through the hands and knees, round the back and drop the head. A few times here with your breath. As always, you can go faster or slower in this movement. And that goes throughout practice. Find the ways to move, to place your body that work for you. That is the only right way to do things. One more breath like this. And then change to downward facing dog. Hands a little further out in front, tuck the toes, lift your hips up and back. And then down dog, continue to explore the movement a little bit first. Pedal out through the feet, shift in the hips. A little yes and no with the head. But then do settle into a more still form of downward facing dog. Arms straight and strong. Squeeze the shoulder blades more towards each other on the back, tone in the belly. As if your inner thighs are moving towards each other, but at the same time, pull the heels down towards the mat. Stay here and breathe here. And then change, knees back down to the yoga mat and turn your hands out so they face the edges of the mat. Or keep going and turn the fingers so they face all the way back towards your knees. Whether you've gone 90 degrees or 180 degrees in that turn of the wrist, you're building some strength in the wrist and forearm to help you now and to help you throughout the day if you happen to be typing at a computer. All right, let's keep the belly toned. Look a little ahead of the hands. Lift your right leg up and back. Do these big swings, right foot over to the left side, tap down to the floor, and then come back up to the center. And do that swing a couple of times. Tap and lift, swing, tap, and lift. 2 more times. So as we work in the forearms and wrists, also warming up through the glutes here. All right, lower the right leg down. Second side, lift the left leg up and back. Nice little lift and squeeze there at the top. And then swing the leg over, tap it down towards your right side, back up and lift through the center. Swing and tap, lift. Try to keep the belly toned as you make the movement in the leg. You can look over the right shoulder each time or just keep the head straight ahead. One more time here with the swing. As you come back into the center, both knees down, and carefully turn the hands around. Sit back on your heels, interlace your hands, flip the palms, reach the arms up to the sky. So as you sit heavy on your heels, still try to pull the chest up, but thread the navel in towards the spine. Exhale, release the hands, stretch it back, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. From down dog, inhale, come forward to plank pose, so the top of our push-up. Shoulders right over the back of the wrist, squeeze the heels together. And then squeeze your glutes, lengthen the tailbone, tone the belly. Look a little forward rather than down. You've got this. Stay here. Plank from the toes or from the knees. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone lie flat down onto your yoga mat. Reach the hands back behind you. Palms up to the sky and lift. Belly down, back bend. Shalabhasana. Lift, lift, lift. For just a moment lower down, you have either the exact same thing or interlace the hands and lift again. So the interlace, obviously asking a little more challenge there in the upper body. Some mornings it's ready, sometimes it's not. Do what's coming to you now and lift. And then lower it down. Press back to child's pose. Right into downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward in between your hands so it can take a few steps or just one glide through. But get your full stride, knee over ankle, fingertips line up with our toes. Lift and power through the back leg. And then take the right hand high into a twist. Lower the right hand to the inside of your foot, spin the back heel down, and walk both hands out towards the left corner of the mat for down dog lunge. In this position, we want most of the weight in our feet. The hands can stay pretty light. And then walk the hands back in around the front foot and step all the way back, downward facing dog. Get into the second side, step the left foot through. Again, it can take its time. Find your full length and stride. We tend to drop the back leg. Instead, think of lifting it higher than you thought to. And it can give you more room to add in this twist here, left hand high. Nice. Left hand to the inside of the foot, spin the back heel down, line up about heel to heel. Walk the hands out towards the front right corner. And here you want the front knee to move away from your front shoulder. The more you draw the knee away, you should feel more length, more stretch along the inner thigh, as well as a strengthening in the outer hip and glute there. Okay, walk both hands in. This time step forward to the front end of your sticky mat. As you stand up, lift the arms all the way to the sky. And take the left hand, hold on to the right wrist. Get taller on the right side first, and then over to the side. And squeeze your glutes, press down through your feet, and keep pushing your hips away. Inhale, come back to center, and hold on to the second side. Again, get taller first, and then arch over. All right, and bring it back into the middle. Exhale, forward fold, touch down to the ground. Good old sun salutation here. Extend from the hips out to the crown of the head. Build your hands higher on the thighs until you get that length in the spine. And step it back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat, and then pull the chest through for cobra. Go to downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift your hips. Several breaths right here, down dog, our home base. All good and full for us. And a look in between the hands, step or jump to the front end of the yoga mat. Half lift, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms overhead. Palms together, center of the chest. Stay right here, palms together, center of the chest, and place your right foot onto your left leg for tree pose. You can start with the leg low. Keep it there. Perhaps use a helping hand to place the foot higher onto your inner thigh. So above or below the knee. If you fall, just try it again. That's where I'm at today. Always chest lifted, tone in the abdomen. Helps to find the center, the balance. Keeping this simple. Lower the leg. Try it on the second side. Left foot onto the right leg. Again, can start and stay lower. Maybe rise up higher. Look somewhere out in front of you that won't move or change. Push your foot onto the leg onto the foot. Point the knee out to the side and the toes down to the floor as much as possible. Nice steady tree poses out there. Lower the leg. Give everything a little bit of a shake. As you fold over, fingertips to the floor, we'll get into our standing poses. So right foot forward, step the left foot back, standing lunge poses, I should say. So right foot forward, left foot back, come up, hands to the hips, and lift your torso. High lunge, arms to the sky. And I'm going to play with this just a little bit. So we're in high lunge. We'll keep as much as we can here, but spin the left heel down to the ground for warrior one. Then we're going to go back and forth a little bit here. So lift the left heel back up. Notice the extra bit of rotation in the hips. And then again, place the left heel back down. It should draw your left hip a little bit back. Put some pressure into the outer edge of the left foot. And then how is it different? Lift the heel and rotate it back into your high lunge. And a little bit more, warrior two, spin the back heel down and more open across the hips and shoulders now. Extend the left hand back as you go. Lift the left heel, rotate back into high lunge. Should be a more dramatic change. And we'll do it just one more time. Place the back heel down, open up warrior two. Lift the back heel, go to warrior one. Sorry, go to high lunge. Back heel lifted, high lunge. Lower both hands either side of the front foot and step left foot forward. Standing forward fold at the front of the mat, fingertips down, make your legs as straight as they'll go, relax the head. Second side, left foot forward, step your right foot back. Hands to the waist, lift your torso straight up and down. Lift the arms to the sky, high lunge. If helpful to you, a nice modification is to keep the hands on the hips and really see where it drags the back leg. Okay, from high lunge, we're spinning the back heel down to warrior one. Hopefully the front side of the body stays mostly the same with a little working difference in the back leg. Pick up the back heel, spin it back. Again, warrior one, place the back heel down. Lift the back heel, rotate to high lunge. We go one more time for this. Back heel down, warrior one. Try to keep the depth in the front thigh as you do so. And then lift the heel, high lunge. Okay, warrior two, open the hips and shoulders fully to the side as you drop the back heel this time. And then go back into your high lunge. One more time, drop the back heel, the toes turn out more fully to the long edge of the mat as the hips and shoulders both turn to the side. High lunge, pick up the back heel, arms rotate high. Nice job, lower the hands down, step backwards to downward facing dog this time, pedal out the feet a little bit. Now lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. And step it just halfway up your mat, so behind the line of your hands. Warrior three, lift the left leg off of the ground. Take the hands to the hips, and then extend the arms straight out in front of you. Much like we lifted and lowered the heel just a moment before, I want you to try to go to a straighter standing leg and then more bend in the knee. Can you keep your hips quite square, left hip down to the mat, and go again, right leg standing straighter, and then right knee more bent. Lower the hands, lower the left leg, step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Kind of challenging our boundaries here a little bit, noticing where we need to move, how we move from. Lift the left leg up and back. And then step just halfway forward behind the hands. So that as you move into the Warrior 3 balance, you can start with the fingertips down, lift the right leg, tone in the belly, and then lift the hands. Try them out to the front, like a T shape in the body. To keep the hips square, I usually have a pretty deep bend in the standing leg. It's working on stability in the hip there. But then going for a little more stretch in the back of the leg for the hamstring. Can you make it a little straighter? And it doesn't mean all the way straight. It's just like something different. And then rebend. And then again, tour towards straight. And bend. That's where we'll find our power. And hands down, leg down, step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet for a moment. One more set of standing poses. Lift the right leg high, three-legged dog again. This time, sweep it all the way through to your long, low lunge. Move both hands to the inside of your foot and spin the back heel down. Turn the back toes in slightly so they face a bit more towards the front corners of the mat. Triangle pose. Right fingertips to the floor. They can come higher on your shin. Lift the left hand up. And lastly here, go for a straighter right leg. We're using the leg to straighten last. Keep the left hand up. Keep the torso open, the back hip open. And can you bend the right knee a little bit? And then go straighter. What are you having to do to tone in the abdomen to keep you here in the pose? Bend the right knee more, and then straighten. And this time, everybody, bend the right knee a lot, and take the left arm totally overhead so you're in your side angle pose. And turn to look down at the ground, hands on either side of the front foot, pick up your back heel. Walk both hands up to your front thigh. And we do a deeper twist here, palms together, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Now, if balance is tough, first try lifting the back leg a little higher to create more space across the low back. If that's still not working, back knee down to the floor can help with the stabilization as well. Okay, untwist. Set the hands down to the mat. Step it all the way back, downward facing dog. We'll give it a go on the second side. Lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. Swing it all the way through into your long, low lunge there. Good, both hands to the inside of your foot. Back heel down. Remember, it's that triangle pose variation first. So left fingertips either stay on the floor to make the pose a little more doable. I'm taking the hand to the bottom of my leg. Lift the right hand all the way up to the sky, which should rotate the torso and the back hip a little bit open, and then go as straight as works on that lower leg. See your triangle pose, give it a couple of breaths. And then we'll do that dynamic movement, the movement with the stretch. Little bend in the left knee, and then straighten. Little bend and straighten. And this time bend and keep it there. Maybe left fingertips all the way to the ground if they weren't already. And stretch the right arm long overhead. Get a little more reach and stretch into the top obliques, top side of the torso. And then look down at the mat. Pick up the back heel, rotate into your low lunge. One more twist here. Bring the hands up to your front thigh. Palms together. And then add the twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, whether you're hooking or staying just above the leg. Tone and turn through the abdomen. Lift, lift, lift through the back leg. Nicely done. Slowly untwist. Step it back, downward facing dog. Enjoy a couple of breaths right here in dog pose. As you look forward in between the hands now, pigeon, bring your right knee behind the right wrist, heel towards the left hip. Walk the back leg until more of the left thigh, the front of the left thigh is on the ground, and come down to your forearms. As always in pigeon, we're looking for as much weight on that back left leg right now as you have resting out towards the right side. So try to pull it in more towards the center to help. The option to stay just as you are in this more sleeping pigeon down on the forearms, or we're going to add a quad stretch into the back leg, lift back up to the fingertips if you're going for that quad stretch, pull the left heel in towards your seat, reach the left hand up and around to hold on to the back foot, thumb on the big toe side of the foot, and then pull the heel in. As you bend the elbow, the fingers would turn down and forward, elbow up towards the sky. Lovely. And then we try to square off the hips and shoulders back towards the front of the mat. Wherever you are in your pigeon pose, slow release. Take the time to work it back into downward facing dog. No rushed movements necessary. And then second side, go left knee behind the wrist, heel towards the right hip. Walk through the back leg. So I let the back leg do most of the work in pigeon. Come down to the forearms. Depending on how and why you're working today, this might be your end pigeon. More acutely looking at the stretch in the outer left hip and glute. You can stay with that or add on, come back up to the fingertips to add on the quad stretch. Right heel towards the seat. I'm going right hand high first so we get the lengthening in the torso and then circle around. It's going to keep us from crunching and sinking into the low back there. And then if you have the foot and a little more room, spin fingers down, elbow up. Try to get your outer hip and heel as close to one another as works. Few breaths, and then release the back leg. Everyone work your way again to downward facing dog. Paddle out the feet. And then go for a little longer stride in downward facing dog. So maybe walk the feet back just like half an inch, 1 inch further back, a little bit longer. Within that longer stride, glue down through your thumb and your first finger more. Lift your armpits up towards the sky. Side plank, balance on your right hand, the outer edge of your right foot. The left foot could step forward, a little kickstand as you reach the left arm up to the sky. We're going for that long length from down dog to get into side plank so that you have some bit of an angle from your bottom shoulder to the wrist. Stack the feet. Or if you like a different option with the top leg, like tree pose, or holding on fingers to the big toe, this is your chance. Stay with your best side plank, one more breath. Okay, downward facing dog, looked nice there. Full down dog, recommit here. And try out your second side. Balance on the left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Do your kickstand, stack the feet. Find what works. Right arm up to the sky. I prefer the kickstand if you're using one leg down with the right foot forward instead of the back knee down in this case. That's going to help to build the strength to continue progressing the pose. Bottom knee down works. That's usually the end progression of the pose though. So it's where we want to be. Okay, downward facing dog. Everybody back, 2 feet. Shake out the head a little bit. Lower the knees all the way to the ground. Do like a hugging child's pose. Wrap the hands back to your feet so your shoulders get to round down and forward, the head all the way to the ground. This total like drop in. Give yourself that moment, a couple of breaths. And then lift the torso up so you're sitting back on your heels. So I want that same thought of really rounding fully into the body, but take it into crane pose, Bakasana. So if you crawl up to your hands and to your feet, like this little bear crawl position, bend your elbows, crawl in tight enough that we take our knees somewhere above the elbows on our upper arm bones. And kind of give in here. Can you put a lot of weight onto your upper arm bones, but at the same time, your arms are almost pushing that weight back. As the weight pushes back, tone in the belly and lift your feet off of the ground for crane pose. So it's that full rounding over in the torso, but a push and a give back on the upper arm bones. Lower the feet back down to the mat if they're lifted. Yogi squat, turn the toes out, heels in. Sit the hips down low. If the hands can lift off of the ground, take them to your prayer hands and really pull up from the pelvic floor to the top of the head. Inhale and a really exaggerated long exhale. Focusing on that exhale, lengthened breath can really bring us into a more parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and release. Have a seat on your yoga mat. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you and fold over the legs. Seated forward fold, continuing to expand on the exhale breath. Starting to calm it down now. Come up just enough to kick the right heel over towards the left thigh. We're thinking knee down towards the ground here and fold over again. So still a stretch in the bottom leg, but perhaps a little bit of opening along the outer hips as well. Come up and switch to your second side. So we kick the left heel towards the outer right hip. Think left knee down towards the bottom knee. Fold over somewhat. From here, extend the left leg back out, give the legs a little bit of a shake, and lie down onto your back. As you lie down onto your back, pull your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Take the hands out towards a T shape. Drop both knees over towards the first side. Either side, doesn't matter. Just drop the legs over. Supine twist here in the body. Bring the knees across the center, drop them over to your second side. From here, I'll move us into the guided meditation. You're welcome to keep a little bit of movement, keep stretching that last little bit while lying back on your mat. You can stay in a position of Shavasana or come back to a seat, however you wish to take in this guided meditation. It says today's Choose Healthy Habits meditation will help you get your mind and body into a place of readiness to let go of the pull of destructive habits and invite in the courage to choose more empowering ones. Settle your body so you are relaxed and alert. Invite your attention to your breath. Pull your mind out of the thoughts running around and into the natural, easy rhythm of your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the warmth in your body as you're present to the oxygen it's taking in, and let the warmth relax your body even further as you sink into position. Now see if you can see yourself, imagine yourself sitting before a table. Your body feels comfortable, and your mind is at ease. And as you look at the table, you notice two big bowls. The one on the right is filled with a luscious array of fruits. Apples, bananas, mangoes, cherries, every fruit that you can imagine. Observe this bowl. See the vibrant colors, the perfectly ripe readiness of the fruit. Imagine yourself taking a bite out of your favorite and feel its juices enliven you, nourish you, refresh you. Take a moment to notice how your body feels, how your mind feels, how your spirit feels. These are your healthy habits, all those little things you do to take care of yourself from the inside out. This is what it feels like to eat well, drink plenty of water, move your body, give yourself quiet time, cultivate positive thoughts, speak kindly to yourself and others. Let yourself fully feel how good it feels to be here in the nourishment of these empowering habits. Now go ahead and observe the table again. This time let your gaze fall upon the bowl on the left. This bowl is also filled with fruit. Right away, your hand reaches out to take it. But as you look closer, you notice the fruit is overripe, brown, a little moldy. You bring your hand back, and without needing to taste them, you know the fruit is not suitable for your body, your mind, your spirit. Let yourself sit in that knowing, that crystal clear knowledge and understanding that what you see before you is not empowering or nourishing. It's destructive. Observe yourself sitting at the table again, still with both bowls of fruit in front of you. Take a deep breath in. Feel yourself deeply connecting to the center of you. The part of you who knows who you are, your true self. This is the person who knows what choice is right for you today. The person who is confident as you reach for the bowl, knowing it will enhance you. This is the person who loves yourself so much. You know that even if you choose the wrong bowl today, at any point, you're still a good person, and that you can always come here again and choose differently. This you has learned to pause, take a breath, make the choices according to what you hear your soul calling for. This is you. Take a deep breath in, invite the freshness, the newness, the love. And as you breathe out, feel yourself relaxing deeper into yourself. Okay, time to wiggle your fingers, your toes, and ease yourself out of the meditation. If you're lying down, take the time to come back to a seated position. And bring your hands together, your thumbs to the sternum. Bow your head. And today let's end this practice, this time of meditation, with this intention. May I choose habits that are empowering for me today, so that I may live vibrantly, authentically, and lovingly. To each of you, much gratitude for yourself, each other, this practice. Namaste. Okay, happy Tuesday. Thank you all.